boy. We are back in the building, folks. Delivering More podcast brought to you by Jim Dehnke and DeliverThat.
We're back here on a Friday. What's it like outside, Ben? What's it like here in Ohio, Northeast Ohio?
I mean, judging by the sunglasses, it's got to be sunny.
It is 95 degrees. Just kidding. It is about 20 degrees, and it is snowing right now.
Is it?
Yeah, well, it's just a little flurry.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm upset that you brought that up because as of this morning, the snow in my driveway was melting, and I was very excited.
Well, it's not enough to stick, but I'll tell you what happened last night here in Northeast Ohio, you guys. It rained all day yesterday. Whatever. I love the rain. Smells great. And then at night, it froze.
Oh, yeah.
So anywhere you walked, it was literally a sheet of ice.
Yes.
So I was walking up some wood stairs, and I slipped, and I just slid down 5 stairs right on my behind.
If we're going to go down stories from yesterday, so when I get home, I let my dog out. I have wooden stairs out of a backsliding door from my home, and it was dry at the time. So this is like 4:30 p.m. I let her outside. She comes back in, I don't know, 30 minutes, an hour later. We go upstairs in my room. We're hanging out. 2 hours go by. She needs outside again. It's dark out now at this point. So I still think it's dry out. I haven't seen the weather. I'm not looking outside. I open the sliding door. She goes down the stairs. I have socks on. I step on those stairs. It's wet.
Oh, I thought you were going to say you slid and fell.
No, I didn't slide and fall like you, but I had wet socks. That's like top 5 worst feelings of all time.
That is true. That is true.
Immediate, just upset. Immediately upset. You know, it's just not a good feeling. Let's get into the episode.
Right.
Let's get into what we're actually here for, folks. We got another Delivering More episode for you here. We got a great interview with a wonderful Chicago driver, Linda. Been with us, started in 2019, but kind of did it part-time a little bit and got more into it full-time as 2020 and the pandemic began. But yeah, she's been with us for a good amount of time, very active, someone we communicate with almost every day. And I think she's a great person to have on here.
Yeah, I think she has some great tips for drivers, and she's just a good personality in general. Also a little crazy. She moved to Chicago from Florida. Although Chicago was voted the most beautiful city, I think, in America just recently. So
not a chance.
I could be completely wrong about that. Jimmy, will you pull that up?
Even if it was voted that, I'm personally saying there's not one single chance that Chicago
Have you
is the
ever
most
been
beautiful
there?
city. No, I don't need to go to Chicago to believe it's the most beautiful city because it's not. You cannot.
Number 3.
As a fundamental belief.
What's number 1?
You can't have
Charleston.
temperatures
Charleston?
to 0
Love
degrees.
you guys. Just kidding. That's great.
South Carolina?
Okay.
Is that what that was?
What?
Charleston, South Carolina?
Yeah. I mean, I can see why. But
It's closer to a beach.
I mean, they've obviously never been to Canton, Ohio.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
Man. All right.
Let's get into this. All right, with Linda, and then after that, what do we got?
Well, I got to plug it. I got to plug
Okay.
ideliverthat.com/podcast. Send your questions, submit to be a driver, submit to be on the podcast. We'd love to have you at any point in time. Please like, share, subscribe the channel, the videos. We're looking for some viewership here, folks, and we'd love to have you guys be the catalyst for that. So thank you so much for viewing and sharing, liking, and subscribing.
And don't forget to stick around after the interview for a little bit of Meet the Team.
Meet the team.
Anyways, let's get into it.
Yeah, let's get into Linda now. And we are back with the newest guest on the Delivering More podcast. We have Linda from Chicago. Linda, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, we appreciate you taking the time on this Friday afternoon to join us and sit down with us, chat for a little while. I know we spoke a little bit off camera yesterday in our checkup. Can you give a little brief backstory on your time in Florida and then moving back to Chicago and everything that led you back to the area?
Sure. Yeah. Originally, I was born in Chicago, and then we moved down to Florida probably in my teens. I went to high school there, college there, bought a house there, and then about 8 years ago, decided to bring my kids back up here near to my family. So it just gives them more opportunity, opens up everything. for them, and then gives me the flexibility, especially with DeliverThat, to make my own schedule and be able to be there for them.
So, Linda, moving to Chicago or back to Chicago from Florida, in my mind, seems like a move that I would not really want to make. Just saying. But obviously, you have family there. Is that the main reason that you moved, or do you enjoy Chicago more than Florida?
Yeah, I do enjoy Chicago more than Florida. Florida, you can always go and visit. It's basically summer every day.
Oh, yeah.
Chicago just has more opportunities, especially I have 2 teenagers. So, and they see how you can hustle and work different jobs and still have time to have your extracurricular activities for whatever.
Yeah.
What about the negatives? Florida, you got the humidity. Chicago, it's the windy city. Like, what is it a trade-off? Is there one better than the other? I would assume you don't like the humidity and you're okay. You can adapt to the wind. Is that kind of the thought process there?
Well,
yeah, definitely the windy city. I've had times where I've gone downtown and the wind has been so bad it's blown boxes off my carts that are already tied down.
Wow.
It is a trade-off, but you just got to learn to work with it. You get a couple extra zip ties on there or bungee cords. The negatives would be the traffic. Downtown Chicago.
Oh my gosh, I can't imagine.
She's getting ahead of us too. I got a question about the traffic a little later too.
Okay, so when I first started with DeliverThat, I was doing it very part-time and I refused to go downtown. I think I told you guys a couple times I can't do it.
Mm-hmm.
It was too anxiety. I was too over anxiety ridden. But when the pandemic hit and I started doing more and more and picking up more downtown, it was amazing because then I learned the streets and there was nobody down there.
Mm-hmm.
So now I just bully my way around.
Yeah, that's nice.
I navigate it well.
Wow. So, and you were talking a little bit about being in Chicago and how that brings more opportunity for you. And you said even your children recognize that, I believe. But
yes.
So let's get in a little bit into that, into the gig work. First of all, I want to give our statistics for you, Linda. You've with DeliverThat since the beginning of 2020. You've taken 450 deliveries, $230,000 worth of food.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, I did not know that.
Yeah, it's actually 449, but I gave that extra one.
A little bump. She's taken probably 50 plus since our stats lined up. So
yeah, and to be clear, it is literally almost March in 2022, and we didn't even count those ones yet. So that was just till the end of 2021.
Yeah, from 2020 to the end of 2021. Yeah.
Yeah. But why choose gig work? You said you were doing it part-time at first, and then you moved into doing it kind of full-time. Why make that switch?
Well, full-time, I used to run events for Costco. I traveled around 5 days a week. I also did events for all the Jewels, all the Marianos. And then when the pandemic hit, you can't do the food events anymore. Nobody wants to sample. Those were all shut down. So picking this up part-time, and I don't do Grubhub or any of the DoorDash or anything else. This is my only platform. Wow. I'm strictly DeliverThat.
Love to hear it.
Seems to be a trend.
I don't prefer juggling anything. I like to be committed to one thing and dedicate my time to that.
We appreciate that.
So, what was the question again?
Why? Yeah, why do it?
Yeah, what propelled you into this field?
Okay, so when I had a break, and I was doing full-time and part-time at the same time. So when the pandemic hit, I was going and doing my store visits, and in the middle, I could do a delivery for lunch, a delivery for breakfast, and a delivery for the afternoon.
Mm-hmm.
So then I got laid off last July, and I started picking up this more. And because the part-time job paid so well, and I had the opportunity to have the extra hours,
of course,
it just worked out to pay just as much as a full-time job for me.
Yeah.
It's quite impressive, and that's really something we like to highlight, especially on this show, trying to gauge this and get this audience as independent contractor focused as much as possible. And like you said, I know we'll probably touch on it here later in the conversation, but your previous gig, you're slotted into a 9-to-5 workflow, you're salary driven, so you already know what you're going to make. In the gig economy, it's you just kind of maybe not fly by the seat of your pants isn't the best way to put it, especially on our platform because it's pre-scheduled for the most part, but you can do what you want. You can work from 9 to 12 and then coast the rest of the day. You can do that Monday to Friday. You can work Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And you, like you said, you can end up pulling in just as much as you're making it at a full-time gig. So hats off to you and anyone else who does it. I know I've thought about doing it, and we provide the service for it now. So I still appreciate being part of the opportunity.
Yeah. I mean, definitely. I mean, even as in manager positions, this, like, people will ask me, they're like, oh, when are you going to start looking for, going back to your career? And I'm like, I'm good, because there's no stress in this for me, because I love it. And I tell everybody, you have to have a passion for people, sales, and food, or it's just not for you.
Yeah. And one thing I know about you just from working with you is, so, we say you're in the Chicago metro, but you're not necessarily just delivering in Chicago. Just make it clear to the listeners, you're delivering all over the place. And that kind of begs a question for me. So you're driving sometimes pretty far to deliver. Like, you might go to Barrington, you might go Naperville. You might go a little south. What do you look for in a delivery that makes that worth your time and whatnot?
What I look for in a delivery to make it worth my time is obviously the money, and is it worth it? Because I do have a big SUV. I do have gas, it's not, excuse me. Hi.
Hey, that's our second cat appearance on the podcast. Yep. We're familiar. We like them here. We're cat friendly.
Welcome.
So, it's got to cover my expenses. So I start off with at least $12 that it's got to cover that. Okay. And if I can stack it, and, you kind of get used to the schedule and the times and who's going to be putting out at what times.
Yeah.
So and I've gone all the way up to Wisconsin in one day, and all the way south to Joliet, which is like a 2-hour swing.
That's wild. Crazy.
I've gone to all 4 pinstripes in one day, which was Chicago, and then north to Northbrook, west to Barrington, and then south to Oak Brook. And I just did like a big circle around the Chicago area.
That's crazy. That's crazy. And I know she mentioned you threw out a dollar figure, $12 or something along those lines, kind of relating to the gas fees. And something we've discussed previously is like working backwards from your end point, like your end goal, and then dividing out and conquering from there. So like, we don't have to get into like a specific breakdown of what your goal is to make on a weekly or bi-weekly basis, but is that something you've ever done or you think about doing? Like, you say, hey, I need to take 3 deliveries and make this much Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, so I can take Friday and Saturday off. Is that something you think about doing?
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely plan my schedule, and as we're independent contractors. So, I'm responsible for my income. So I usually try to take a minimum of 3 to 4 deliveries a day. And if they're around 25, I'll say, so that's $100 a day. And that's
a day,
like a minimum.
Of course.
5 days a week. So I could at least plan to have 2 days a week off. But then there's some days, or a birthday coming up or holiday coming up, that I can say, okay, I'm going to work extra so I can have that time off, or I need to make extra to buy a gift for someone.
Yeah.
Or a car repair coming up.
Yeah. And one thing too, Linda, that we talked to about a couple drivers on the podcast before, but I kind of want to reiterate, because I feel like it's just good advice for other people out there looking to be drivers or drivers now, is you have built up a relationship with some of our partners, right? So you know these people, you might even know them on a personal basis now. And do you find that helpful? I mean, in your endeavors, and why?
I absolutely find that helpful. I think my number one thing is to create a rapport with the restaurant and the clients. When I first walk in, especially to a new restaurant, I'll introduce myself. Hi, I'm Linda with DeliverThat. Can I help you? I always help. I always go above and beyond. I treat them like I want to be treated, but catered to, not just worked with, because we're in a catering business, right? It's not just a drop-off service. So I'll go in there, I'll box up. The only thing I haven't done so far is gone behind the line and cooked.
Yeah, we've had some stories like that, though. We've had stories.
I've done dishes 2 days ago at Pinstripes. I've done dishes back there.
Are you serious?
Yeah, wow. Absolutely. Yeah,
you're invested. That's how you build a relationship, right there.
FYI, I don't pay for food there.
Yeah, well, that's a perk though, and like we talked about off camera. I don't mind sharing this. I don't think it's a big deal, but you said a manager texted you about delivery because he was going to submit it to DeliverThat. It had a nice gratuity on it. He knows you're going to do a great job, service his brand and his customer just as he would himself. So he says, hey, Linda, here's a heads up. If you see it come in, snag it, because I want you to take this. Not necessarily I want you only to take the delivery, but I know that you'll do the due diligence and do the service how I'd like it. So creating those relationships only creates a better opportunity for you, the brand, DeliverThat, and yourself. So, I mean, it speaks volumes what just creating that relationship can really do for your end goal.
And I also create relationships, like if I bump into another driver. And as you've noticed, I'll be like, hey, I can't take this delivery tomorrow, but Kim can take it.
Right.
And then, so we all like help each other out. So it's a team out there, even though we're independent and we're individual, we still have the same end goal to make the restaurants happy and the clients happy.
Yeah. I got to ask Linda about this because I remember, especially in the Christmas of, was it 2020?
Yes.
Well, I'm just saying, like, you have delivered orders that are absolutely massive by yourself.
Yes.
Massive
she
orders.
talked about large orders in the beginning. I was going to bring that back up. I like that. Yeah.
Well, first of all, what's like the biggest delivery you think you've ever delivered alone? Or together? I mean, either one, just order cost.
I think it was the Boston market that was over $3,500.
By yourself?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Jeez. Yeah. So how do you do that? I mean, just how?
Well, originally I'd pick up orders that were a little bit smaller, and I go there, and I'm greedy. I don't know. I just go there and I talk to the managers and see how, like, if I know the order's $1,000, I know it's going to be about 7 boxes for Boston Market.
Oh, okay.
So the $3,000 order was about 21 boxes, which is what I could hold. So I'll call them up and say, hey, by the way, and I know their names because I've done deliveries from there before. And I keep notes in my phone. Another little tip and trick on the restaurants, like Boston Market will be Shelly and Mike, or the general manager is Michael, which it is around here. So I'll bump into him. And so I knew it was 21 boxes. I knew I could fit that. And I called them up, double checked, and then called DeliverThat and gave you guys a heads up. Listen, I can take this by myself.
Yeah, for sure.
And then Pinstripes, they've been massive with the Costco orders. Like we would have like 150 lunches, 150 breakfasts, and like 3 orders a day. I like the challenge. I find it fun. You have to be good at Jenga and you have to be good at Tetris.
Yeah, that's a fact.
Those are some classic games. And I like what you said there about calling the store beforehand to like get information on the packaging and like how it's going to look on their end, because we do similar things with partners. Like if drivers reach out to us and are like, hey, I know it's a larger delivery. Can you get some details on the order packaging, what's actually in it, so and so on. And we'll do that for you guys. But we had another driver on here previously named Chris, and he said something along the lines of, we asked like, hey, like, how do you find a suite or a customer that's not listed? And he was like, well, I usually just Google it. And it sounds mundane to say on our end, but that's a similar thing that we'll just do on our end. So like when drivers go out of their way to reach out to the stores themselves or Google information themselves, our hotline's here for you guys. We're here to text, here to call. We're here to help you at all times, no matter what. We're more than happy to and more than willing to. But hearing someone like you say those things, and we hear repeatedly drivers we talk to who are successful on the platform that go beyond the mark, they do more than what's asked or more than what's required, and then they execute. I think it just speaks volumes to what these people are consistently doing, like you, that it shows why you're successful, point blank.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
It is a very clear trait of a successful driver that they take things into their own hands, and,
of course.
and they're able to problem solve. I mean, we've had some very successful drivers on the podcast so far, and exactly what you said there is exactly what everybody else does. Is they take things in their own hands. It's not even a hard thing. It's just they're not as reliant. You know what I mean? They can solve the problem.
Right, exactly. Like there's sometimes I don't reach out to you guys for a while and I just want to say, hey, but I'm doing it on my own. It's like, hey, just wanted to say have a great day.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's nice that we appreciate
that. How about that Starbucks card? Do you remember that?
The Starbucks card.
Oh, yeah. Linda sent us Starbucks.
Oh, yeah. I do remember that. I do remember that. I'm not a coffee guy, so I probably didn't indulge, but I'm sure we appreciate it.
Oh, they got good pastries. Next time, get a pastry or something.
Oh, wait. Did we do like an online order? We got a bunch of sandwiches and stuff, didn't we?
Yeah, we got a bunch of different stuff. Yeah.
I indulged. I appreciate it. I think I got like a croissant sandwich on you.
Yeah, that was like, I was super, super busy 2020 December. And I'm like, who did I reach out to?
I think it's probably like Christian or Brittany, maybe.
Brittany. And I said, hey, can I have a name of everybody in the office? And she's like, yeah, sure. I'm like, can I send a gift card or something? She's like, absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah, we did use that. I remember that now.
Yeah, good thing. Yeah, we're not urging any listeners to buy Starbucks or
anything. You don't have.
Yeah,
to.
we don't have to.
No, you don't have to. But I mean, oh my God, you guys are amazing. That that December, I remember I had to get an oil change so often, and I looked at my mileage, and I was doing 500 miles a week.
Jeez, I don't think I've put 500 miles on my car in half a year.
That's
I got a 5-mile drive to and from work, and I'm a hermit besides that, so I do not put miles on my car.
Wow. Well, Linda, so continue to go down this path. For other drivers, do you have any tips or tricks, that you use, any equipment you use, anything you do specifically that might be helpful?
Yeah, absolutely. And equipment is the key to, you have to be prepared. You have to have your tools that you're not going to be stressed out and you're organized with. You have to be organized. You have to have a little bit of OCD. And I'm not kidding when I say Tetris. Like, I know how many black bags, 23 by 11 by 14, I can fit in my car. I order from DeliverThat bags, and I order from Amazon. I also have carts. I have 2 carts in my car. I actually have 3 carts, but I'm only using 2 right now because of the snow. But I can pull 2 at a time. So my tips and tricks would be to absolutely be prepared. Make sure you have enough bags. Make sure if you're going to a repeat restaurant, example, Pinstripes I keep bringing up because they have specific lunch boxes.
Love them.
I know that 16 will fit in this bag and this bag and this bag. So, and I'm also a numbers person. So, and then bungee cords when you stack bags, so you don't want any of them to fall.
Keep them secure. Yeah, that's a good call.
It's $2.99 at the local, auto parts store right down the road. So bags, carts, bungee cords, definitely.
And then play Tetris in your off time, right?
Yes.
Yeah, practice.
When you take a break, play Tetris in the car.
Yeah, when you're sitting in that Chicago traffic, whoa. We don't advise being on your phone, but maybe get a game of Tetris in.
Oh my gosh, dude, let's just cut that out.
Oh, the other thing I totally recommend is making sure you print out DeliverThat catering and laminate it. I have signs for my car.
Yeah.
I didn't have one yesterday, unfortunately, and I got to
Jim,
take it.
throw the link up. Throw the link up.
Yeah. What's that?
Yeah, we have the link. We can Jim will post-production, throw that link up. We'll send those drivers to it. They can print it out, laminate it. They'll have them in no time.
You think that helps?
I've had extras in my car, and I've given a few out to the drivers here too.
Perfect.
Yeah.
You think that helps with the tickets?
I think I met Jim once when he came to Chicago.
Did you go?
I think, Jim, you're probably in Chicago for like NRA maybe one time.
He gave me some bags and some shirts once. Was that him?
That might have been John.
Was that? I don't know.
I don't know. We haven't been to Chicago for a while.
It was Nick.
It was Nick. You're right.
Oh, yeah.
Nick. Yeah.
Man. Yeah. R.I.P. Nick. Hey, he's not dead.
He's just saying he's not here anymore. But
but he's not with the company.
Jeez. All right. Well, before we move on to our little game we want to play here,
I have a question. I have a question. I want to circle back a little bit. You mentioned like I don't know if Kim's an actual driver. I think she is, but you use the name Kim to like who you send a delivery to if you can't take one or you find another gig that works better and so on. Do you think DeliverThat could be doing anything better on our end to connect drivers, and how do you think we could go about doing that?
That is a great question. I definitely think that would be helpful for us to know who our team is here somehow. Because we do work together. And,
for sure.
And if I'm working for you and if I can't take a delivery and I know it'll go somewhere else, but I want to make sure it's taken care of, I do filter it down to the people I've met.
Right.
I'm not sure how that would work. But it would be a good idea for drivers.
Right. Yeah.
You know what? I'll give you an example. When we first launched in Chicago, we had another app that we used and that we could post pictures on and talk to other drivers. And that was extremely helpful.
Yeah, that's what I was going to bring up.
It was not Slack. Alone out on the road. You know?
Yeah, no.
Yeah. We had the Slack channel is what we had.
That's what it was.
Yeah. So we had like the setup picture contest. We had channels for each of your cities. Yeah, it became a little too much to manage on our end, I think, at one point. So we just kind of had to shut it down. But
yeah, imagine 1,000 drivers in there, and
like
exactly
80 plus cities, and you're trying to it was
all
chaos
those personalities,
Right. Yeah, I didn't realize how big it was then. But
yeah, but I think that's like you bringing up the interactions you had with other drivers. I think that's something we should definitely dive into a little bit more. And I'm not sure how we would do it, or I'm sure we could find a way to, though. I don't know. Just maybe bringing light to who else is working or operating.
And let me just throw it out there. I mean, I'm not against it, but I've had drivers tell me that they've created their own like little groups, if they have met people, where they have been able to communicate.
Yeah, we have drivers in Dallas who like have little hordes of like 3 or 4 drivers. They probably have like a group text together and send each other deliveries left and right. So yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that's cool. I mean, and that kind of works for us too. I have about 3 or 5 people, and I know like Kim, she's in Chicago. So she'll take deliveries from Chicago and north, I guess maybe it's just, the manager and me trying to take care of things, but there's
it's helpful though. It's helpful though. Like you said, if it's someone like you on the platform who you have, I don't know, you wake up in the morning, you have 6 deliveries and you can only take 3 or 4, or you get a route text from us that says, hey, you can take this, double to a single, or this, you can take this triple, but you have to release 2 or 3. Well, if you're considerate, like you said, and you don't want DeliverThat to cancel those orders, and hey, maybe Kim doesn't have one, maybe Joanne doesn't have one, maybe Ryan needs a delivery. You hit up your group text, you say, hey, do you guys need any deliveries? Where are you at? And you ship them off to them. And then, you text the hotline, say, hey, send this one to Ryan, send this one to Joe. And then they have the deliveries and everything's taken care of. So yeah, I think driver communication is definitely, driver intercommunication is probably something we could definitely work on.
Yeah, definitely.
And I think a lot of people don't think about that. That's one of the reasons we have this podcast, kind of just to bring things like that to the drivers and
a little light bulb,
Well, Ben, I'm kind of excited. We want to get into a little, what is it called?
Yeah. Oh, well, this is going to be a brand new segment. We're going to test it out on you, Linda. You're going to be a little guinea pig.
Awesome.
And there's not going to be, for us personally, it's not going to be as like nice in post-production, because the viewers will see pictures pop up and things like that. So it'll look way better on the back end. Right now, it'll be a little boring for us, but it's called Overrated, Underrated. And this is going to be the Chicago edition.
Jim, pull those up as we say.
So we're going to produce some subjects, some topics, whatever you call it, some items maybe, and you just give us an overrated, underrated, and maybe a little blurb about why you think so. If you just want to say overrated, underrated, and you don't want to give it a reason, that's fine. We can move on. You don't have to explain it all, but we'll test it out, see how it goes.
It'll be based around Chicago, I think.
Yeah,
mostly.
All Chicago. Well, Chicago, 100%.
Okay.
All right, overrated, underrated, part 1 with Linda. Number 1, originating in Chicago in 1914, jazz music. Yeah, this is a tough one. I started off slow. I get into more familiar territory as we go.
You do. My son absolutely loves jazz. So I'm gonna go underrated.
Okay. Underrated. Son loves jazz. What, you play the saxophone? What's he got?
Do you have a minute? He started with the trombone. He plays the electric guitar, the acoustic guitar, the bass. I just bought him for Christmas. Oh, I bought him a 5-string bass too.
Wow.
Or was it a 4-string bass? I don't know. He's got 5 guitars, a bass. He's got a drum set downstairs. And he is studying music theory.
Does he have a SoundCloud we can plug?
Oh my gosh. I will ask him when he gets home.
Oh my God. All right. Yeah. Email it over to us. We'll throw it in the bottom. If he's got one, we'll try to get some traction to it.
Yeah. Awesome. Okay.
All right. Number 2.
Overrated, underrated.
Yeah. Overrated, underrated. Number 2, skyscrapers.
They're underrated.
Underrated?
Really?
I don't know how I feel about that.
Why? If you go up in a skyscraper and take a delivery, I don't know if you've seen any of my pictures. Sometimes I won't take a picture of the food. I'll just take a picture of the view.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I'm going to start looking at your pictures.
That's a good point.
It's like, I'll give you an example. Have you ever been scuba diving?
I have not.
No.
It's a whole nother world.
Wow.
If you're up in a skyscraper just looking out.
Yeah, I guess I thought skyscraper was a no-brainer, overrated. So underrated, I did not see that coming. I guess from my vantage point, I was thinking waiting for elevators, getting stuck in elevators.
Yeah.
If the elevators are down, you got to walk up the stairs.
What a great viewpoint. All I hear is negative things about
downtown parking in front of skyscrapers. Got to be miserable.
Yeah, that's probably terrible.
So that's
it's not really. You just put your hazards on and run in.
Yeah, hey, I like it.
Take a risk.
Yeah, I like it. She went down a different avenue. All right, let's keep it rolling. We'll touch on this one because you touched on it earlier, and this is what I was leading to. Traffic.
In Chicago, right? Traffic in Chicago.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, but traffic in general.
Okay.
Is
traffic in general? Let's say overrated. I mean, traffic is traffic. You have it everywhere. Yeah. You just have to know when to drive and where to drive. Yeah. And you have to be a little bully.
I mean, yeah, I don't want to get into a rabbit hole and like a conspiracy action here, but like, why is traffic a thing? How is traffic a thing? You know what I'm saying?
Like, so some people can't drive.
It just doesn't make sense.
That's
to me,
true.
The fact that traffic is a real live thing just doesn't even compute in my brain. Doesn't make sense.
Let me get one in.
Yeah.
Right. Chicago deep dish pizza.
It's overrated.
Oh, boy. This is what I wanted. This is what I wanted. I wanted the controversy.
Sorry. It's overrated.
I wanted the controversy, and I like it.
I've had a piece maybe about a year ago, but there's so many other good pizzas out there, and especially New York style.
Yeah,
Detroit style.
I'm about the thin. I'm about the thin slice.
See, Jim's pulling them up on the screen, pictures of it when we say something, and I'll tell you what. Looking at it now, it looks like it might be a little underrated.
Here's my thing.
Okay, if you pull up Giordano's, that one is that one's underrated. Okay. Giordano's is really, really, really good. I'll give you that. You know what? That's what I'm sending you guys. I'm sending you deep dish pizza.
What about Lou Malnati's?
Yes. Yeah. Same. Tied for first. Lou Malnati's and Giordano's.
Okay.
Yeah.
A lot about that.
Yeah. We got some pictures pulled up, like Tristan said, you're right. Here, my thing with deep dish pizza, I've never had a Chicago deep dish pizza like these that we're seeing. But
oh my goodness.
It's like a one and done. You know what I'm saying? Like a thin crust, like a New York style pizza. You can have like 2-3 slices.
Yeah.
Yes.
A deep dish, you're one slice and you're in a food coma.
Oh, I can eat a whole regular pizza. I can eat like 2 slices of a deep dish. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh
yeah.
Okay.
You're absolutely right.
You go for that.
Now you guys got me hungry. Now I'm gonna have to order deep dish.
Hey, yeah. All right.
Well, it's overrated, so you can't.
All right, and we'll close it out. We're sticking on the food trend here, and this is another one I personally have not really tried. I'm a very black and white, plain Jane kind of person. Chicago style hot dogs.
Oh my gosh, absolutely underrated.
Ooh, they look underrated. We're looking at them now.
they look so overrated to me. Is not even a question.
That one's got
pickles.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like here's my thing. I don't know if this is a weird thing my dad always did when we were growing up. I'm like I'll throw cheese on a hot dog, like with but I'm a ketchup and mustard, maybe even just to be honest, I'm a stadium mustard guy. I love stadium mustard.
Oh, that's good. Yeah.
But yeah, these Chicago style, you got like peppers and pickles and onions. There's not even a hot dog on the hot dog. It's literally
you've never had one?
It's a veggie dog.
You're forgetting. There's celery salt on there and there's sliced tomatoes on there too.
Ooh, yeah, that's what I see in here. It looks good.
And it's amazing. It is.
Who's the best? Yeah, you're about to get into it. Who's the best?
I am. There's one place we go to. I'm gonna have to actually look at my Google Maps. We only go to this little place, mom and pop place, right around the corner. Hold on.
That's
Red Hots.
What is it?
Red Hots.
Red Hots.
I've heard of
Shout out Red Hots.
I've heard of that place. Wow.
Because they snap when you bite them. They crack.
Yeah,
They got like a little pop.
There they are.
Yeah, Red Hots. Those look nice. That is the thing I will say about it is there's so many it's not an overproduced item. Like it's a very mom and pop, like hole in the wall kind of item. So like when you get it and it's good, it's really good.
Yeah,
What about Costco? You said you worked at Costco. Do they do the Chicago style thing? I know they're pretty famous for their like cheap hot dogs, at Costco. Do they do the Chicago style at Costco in Chicago?
No, they just give you a hot dog and like the condiments are on the side, but they don't have like all the condiments for it. But yeah. Costco's hot dogs are $1 hot dog is what you get with a pop.
It's famous.
I'll take it.
Yeah.
I'll take it.
It's good though. I mean, it's just $1 hot dog and a pop, but nothing compares to the Red Hots.
Right.
Yeah.
Red Hots, man. Yeah, I don't think we have a trip to Chicago on the books, but I'll start looking.
Man. I don't think I've ever had one, but I'm excited to try it.
All right. Well, that's the first iteration of Overrated, Underrated. I think it went pretty well. Yeah, it went good.
It's fun.
All right.
It's fun.
Awesome. All right, Linda. Well, we appreciate you again joining us a beautiful Friday afternoon. I don't know how the weather is in Chicago, but it's not great where we are. So I don't know.
It's gorgeous here. It's 25 and you can see the sun. There's no snow falling. We had 4 inches last night.
I feel like gorgeous was not the adjective that we should have used.
It depends who you are.
Not too bad.
All right. Well, thank you so much again, and I'm sure we'll talk to you. I don't know if you got any deliveries tomorrow morning or over the weekend, but we'll talk to you very soon, I'm sure.
Yeah.
All right, I do. Thank you for having me. It was a pleasure.
Thanks so much.
All right, we'll see you soon.
Bye, Linda.
All right, bye.
All right. We're back in the building here. Just had a great interview with Linda. She's a seasoned driver. I was really interested to see some of the points she brought up because she's been around for a long time. Still can't figure out why she moved to Chicago from Florida, even if she has family there. I thought that was a little crazy. But a little tidbit here, this segment, as you can tell with the new haircut, was done after we did the interview. So Linda actually bought us some Lou Malnati's pizza from, the famous pizza joint there and shipped it here along with some cheesecake, which ended up being really, really good.
Tasty.
So thank you, Linda, for that. And now we're going to move into our new segment. And I am here with Jim, actually.
Not Ben.
Producer Jim, because today, behind the camera for Meet the Team, we have the one and only Ben Alkire. Ben, thanks for joining us today.
How we doing, boys? Long time no see.
Yeah.
Doing good. I'm interested to get into this, Ben, because I feel like some of the listeners and drivers who, I see you on behind the camera, I've talked to you on the phone, maybe want to know a little bit more about you because we haven't talked that much about ourselves. So let's just get it rolling here with the beginning of your start here at DeliverThat. When you kind of came in here when we were still flying by the seat of our pants, it was a wireframe blueprint kind of thing. It wasn't all set like it is today. What was that like when you first started as compared to today? And how'd you even get into DeliverThat?
Yeah, I mean, a very, very brief overview. I believe, running back through the timeline, January of 2018, I was back in Jackson Township, was going to Kent Stark State, finishing up some college courses, trying to hammer out a business degree. I'm not really sure how or what the catalyst was for the actual start. I don't know if someone reached out to me or if I just happened to know that things were going on, so I needed some extra cash and reached out to them. But yeah, I started like a lot of other people within the company as a driver, was driving for multiple months at a time, probably through the spring of 2018.
And we're the face of our website.
Face of the website. That's right.
Yeah,
for a couple of years, Benny was on the homepage of the website. I believe if you still go to the website today, you'll see that mug to become a driver.
Yeah, we had a photo shoot outside Old Carolina.
Yeah.
But furthering on that, I then kind of dove into a not necessarily a role within the company, but Darian asked me to help out with some sales type of things or like prospecting some restaurants and things of that nature. So I was legitimately like making lists of people and restaurants I would reach out to. I'd be cold calling them, reaching out about DeliverThat and the catering services we provided. I spoke briefly in Dan's Meet the Team about how I met Dan on a sales meeting at Einstein Bagels up in Akron. And then from there, I think, so I got hired in October of 2018. I think Christian was like June of 2018, and then Mitch was like 2 weeks after me in the first or second week of November. So a pretty good timeline of a core group of people got hired in 2018. But yeah, I mean, to answer your question more directly, when I got hired on, we were in the second office, I think after Aaron's parents' basement. There was the one across from Planet Fitness and then the one right next to Geeson House. I mean, it was a 2-room office. There was like one little office space and then like a more of like a floor layout with like a couch and a TV and kind of a table where you could do some work. I was chomping away on a MacBook John had lent me, like a 2 or 3-year-old MacBook that he had while he was at Ohio University. He was letting me borrow that to do work because I didn't have a computer myself.
Wow.
But yeah, I mean, it's hard to look back on now and say like those were the golden days, but I mean, those were like, it's wild to think about. I mean, that was a core group of guys who have known each other since they were 14, 15, 16 years old, who were just on like the brink of beginning a company, and we're all kind of back together in a coordinated effort in the same township that they grew up in, and like trying to begin this dream that was hatched out of a dorm room. So it was a good time. It was a very good time.
So speaking on that dorm room, I want to kind of backtrack to our original Delivering More podcast episode with the founders. And you mentioned that you had gone to Ohio University with John and Aaron, and you have seen basically the evolution of DeliverThat from campus delivery to what it is now, DeliverThat.
Yeah.
What was your perception of campus delivery when it was still in its, I'm going to call it very early stages,
infancy,
when it was still at Ohio University?
Yeah, I mean, I think I had a similar perception of probably like what a lot of the OU guys that we're friends with to this day, like still kind of think about the company. Like it was this like crackpot idea that they had because they had a class project, and that's like how the catalyst was. Like they had a class project and they were like, hey, let's try this out. They make a Twitter account overnight. They gain like 2,000-3,000 followers. And next thing you know, they have a business. So, I mean, that in itself was like outlandish. It was like what's even going on? But I also saw like the work those guys were putting in. Like I think they talked about in their Meet the Team episode, but like there were nights at like 7, 8, 9 p.m. on Fridays and Saturday nights where everyone else is at the bar drinking, having a good time, doing whatever, and they're like leaving to go run Chipotle to some kid at the library, or going to West State Street and picking up an order to run to another dorm room, you know? So from that perspective, I think early on, I mean, I've known John since we were 9 or 10 playing youth league baseball, and I've known Aaron early on playing baseball as well. So I've known the guys for a long time and known how driven they always are, and how, you know, stern and stubborn they can be in their ideals, and how much they believe in themselves. So I always believed in the idea of it, but I think early on, it's always like hey, like, yeah, they hatched this out. Yeah, like, yeah, okay, it's a good idea now, but like, will it actually develop? And lo and behold, it did.
Here we are.
Yeah, right.
So obviously the company grew, and you grew with the company. And for those of you who don't know, Ben actually used to be my boss, and you know, he was actually the head of dispatch and logistics until I actually surpassed him in intelligence and skill.
And skill, like you added that.
But it's not wrong.
No, I was just kidding. But so you know, you were in dispatch for a super long time until just recently. You're actually, you know, should go down on the DT Hall of Fame for, you know, one of the best dispatchers of all time, to be honest. Like, seriously.
I appreciate that.
No, yeah, he was very skilled. But now you're more so in a public relations, you know, marketing kind of role here at DeliverThat. And why was that transition important, and what do you like about it?
For me, it was kind of derived from a lot of conversations within the company. Like we have that winners meeting, and there's a lot of discussion about like finding your why and what drives you to come into work every day, and like, what do you love being here? And to be 100% transparent, like you said, I was in dispatch from October of 2018 to basically January of 2022, like this past couple months. And I mean, 4 years of doing, you know, not necessarily the same thing, but a very relative idea of the same thing, you know, handling deliveries, getting them assigned, handling driver calls, complaints, you know, slacking, calling partners. You know, it became a very like monotonous thing. And it was like, well, I love the culture. I love the people here. I love the idea of what we started. So I never wanted to leave the company or abandon what we started, but it did get to a point where I was very kind of like, okay, like it's another day of work. It became, to put it short and blunt, it became work. It was not as fun as it used to be when it originally started. So I think for me, it was just kind of trying to find a new seat on the bus, right? We talk about everyone, are you on the ride for the bus? And for me, I know like Jim, we talked about in Jim's Meet the Team, he's sat in multiple different seats on the bus until you find the right spot. And I think for me, it was just time to find a new seat that really like invigorated me and like woke me up again. And like when I like now when I come to work, I'm like excited because I'm working like a way more on like a creative side. It's not like a to Z, here's what you do to get this done. Like now I come to work and I'm like thinking of ideas, thinking of TikToks, thinking of LinkedIn posts, thinking of YouTube episodes we can put out. So I think that's kind of just like reinvigorated like my love of the company and why I want to be here.
Beautiful.
Yeah. And also, you know, you help build the company to the point where it is today. And now there's a need for new roles and somebody's got to fill those too. So, you know, that's great to see that evolution happen and for you to fill that role. Actually, too, I have a question from the dispatch team for you.
Boy.
You know, we're going to get a little bit less on about you here, but a little bit of a personal question. You know, Ben and Jim, or Holley's behind the scenes right now. We'll pull up a picture of your dog. You know, you got a dog,
Sky, yeah.
Sky.
Where are we going with
So,
this?
well, I think that the people should know he's got a beautiful Alaskan Malamute, right?
Yeah, Sky.
All white.
Yeah.
Her name's Sky, and they were just wondering, how come you never bring the dog in?
Oh,
That is a wild thing for you to have asked because so as of recently, not to like give out like my family operations that are going on right now, but my mom actually just got a new job and since COVID, my dog was like outside her cage with my mom all day because my mom was working from home. So she had like her little pal to hang out with all day. But as of the past week, my mom is now in a full-time like in-office job. She works for Kansas City Schools now. Love that. Good for her. Great job, mom. But strangely enough that you asked this question, I thought about bringing her in like the past couple days because she is in like a crate now, like 7, 8, 9 hours a day, which she's fine. She doesn't mind it. She's crate trained and it's not that big of a deal. She's a dog. So, you know, it is what it is. But strangely enough, I've thought about it. The only reason I wouldn't bring her in, and Jim knows this, she's a Malamute. So like she's very, very vocal, like
very vocal.
Like, yeah, like when I say very vocal, like not like very is not the adjective.
She'll talk to you. She'll have a full blown conversation.
Like she will like talk back to you and have conversations with you. And being that like people are on the phones and things of that nature. One other major thing I haven't really been able to train her full-heartedly at this point in time is so when I first had her, me and Darian were living in an apartment together and we had people over all the time. And so she was like overexposed to people. Like she is beyond friendly. Like there's like, not to like bash dogs, but like there's like the perception of pit bulls who like you, like if you see a pit bull, like you will never go up and like pet it. Like Sky, if she sees a human being or another dog, like she is sprinting up to you and like trying to leap on you, and she's so big that like her paws are like on your shoulders. So like to people that don't know her, she can be very, very intimidating. But she's like beyond friendly, super amazing dog. I love her so much. But yeah, I mean, it'd just be like a distraction, and it'd just be a lot.
Yeah, she's hyper for sure.
Yeah.
Well, so yeah, we do still hope to see Sky in here soon.
Yeah, I mean, maybe like a weekend shift. Like I've worked here on weekends. Like I'll bring her in when it's like just me, like, and she'll like run around the office. But like when all these people are here, like
a little tough.
It'd be chaos for like the first like 30 minutes to like an hour, and then maybe she'd calm down. But like that first, like, it's just to the point where like I don't want to put her in a position where she would like fail.
Yeah.
I mean, like that's how I view it. It's like I don't want to put her in a position where I would get upset because of the way she's acting. And that like I feel that reflects on me, like as a dog dad, and like how I trained her, like as poorly or as not as good as I could have or should have. So like then I get aggravated, then I get upset, and then now I'm like driving her home immediately and putting her in the cage and like yelling at her and like getting mad. So like I don't want to put her or myself in a position where it's like a failure. So that's
wow. You're almost ready to be a father.
No,
don't go that far.
Oh, okay.
No, absolutely not.
Well, Ben, we're glad to have learned a lot more about you. Thanks for sitting on the other side of the camera or the other side of the room this time.
Yeah, it's an odd feeling.
And we all are going to have a full-blown Meet the Team segment that all these episodes will go into a lot deeper. So maybe learn a little bit more about Sky, maybe learn a little bit more about Megan and her new job. But yeah, look out for those because those are coming.
Yeah, and another thing about Meet the Team is we're going to be still interviewing, people you might know. We got Brittany, Lissa, Late, and
Holley.
I literally just had Dan type. I had him like go down the paperwork, and I made him print me out the list of like the chronological order of people. So it's on my desk.
Nice. So all these people you talked to on the phone, and you might know that we haven't already interviewed, or we're going to be doing longer interviews for people we've already interviewed. If you, as viewers, have questions for anybody specific that you want answered, go ahead and send it in. Maybe we can ask him on the Meet the Team.
Wait, and how would they send it in? I think we should ask Ben to answer that. How would someone go about sending in a question to the DeliveringMore
Why don't you take us home here?
I'll gladly do it. I usually do it anyway since Tristan, doesn't do much on here. But if you guys want to send in your questions, submit to be a guest on the podcast, like, share, subscribe to the podcast, please, on YouTube. IDeliverThat.com/podcast. The link's going to pop up right here. Thanks, Jim. Thanks, Holley, on the back end. Again, submit your questions, submit to be a guest. You can submit to be a driver on our DeliverThat platform. We would love to have you folks. And again, thank you, boys, for having me. I know.
Thanks for having me.
Jim.
Yeah, I don't get to sit here very often, so I'll take every time I get.
Yeah, you're great, man. You're great.
Yeah, I appreciate it, guys.
All right, thank you.
Let's get out of here.
All right.